Thank you everybody for who's joining in and watching these videos. I'm Daniel, your host. I'll be teaching Qigong here. We'll be doing healing Qigong, just to clarify that this is to be able to improve quality of health. And these basics seem simple until you join in and you realize that your arms are much heavier than they may seem. So why lift weights if you can't hold up your arms? That's the philosophy I'm working with. In this case, get your principles right, get your body mechanics right, and then apply weight. So we're going to do non-weighted healing Qigong. Okay. Thank you, Aviel. Okay. We'll start off the feet shoulders width, knees bent, and just letting the arms swing. And in this, we just want to let go of any hard feelings, any lingering emotions. Let the day sling past and behind you as if you're drying your hands and letting the water off. Just gentle from the shoulder. Oh, also, I want to give a shout out to Oakland Zone for the gear. Not that they gave it to me. I like to support local business. You know what I'm saying? But man, Justin and Infinity, y'all legit. Y'all, you definitely got a friend in me. Good. Letting the arms gently rest at the sides, letting the hands face each other, standing, meditation, knees bent, back straight, shoulders relaxed, tongue on the roof of your mouth, breathing only through your nose. Maintaining the same arm position, allow the hands to rise, level with the collarbones. Elbows down. Good. Extra credit if you can keep your wrist straight. There you go. And let the fingers gently curl toward the opposite hand. That's much better. Does that feel different? Mm-hmm. Yeah. David Wei of Wudong West would say, the fingers have peng, meaning the fingers are not rigid, but like a tree and how its leaves may reach toward the sun, the leaf is flexible, but when it's healthy, it has a certain liveliness, a certain uprightness, a zong qi, a central qi. And that's what we want here in our hands. We just want peng. We want our fingers to be lively without being rigid. You feeling the work? Maintaining the same position, allow the hands to come up, elbows down, level with the eyes. Good. Just a reminder, your chin's tucked, neck long, shoulders relaxed, back straight, knees bent. With a gentle smile. Good. Allow the hands to come down level with the collarbones. And allow the hands back down to the dantian, maintaining that space in your armpits. We call that keeping the gates open, maintaining the gua. That's both in the hips and in the shoulders. Allowing the hands to rest by your side. Arms out, palms down. Flexing only at the waist, keeping the back straight to your right. Back to center. Other side. Back to center. Let the arms come down. Take a moment to stand and let that work integrate. Good. Okay, so our next exercise, we're going to be a little bit more than shoulders width. And I will mirror you, okay? So I'm going to have you turn out your right foot. Good. And we're going to shift our weight back. And I want you to just feel for a moment when your feet make that 90-degree angle, do you have mobility if you were to push forward? No. No. And you can't feel mobile because these angles are slightly off. Also, this is a good way to damage your knees. So the reason I mention this, if you're following along online, when we do this exercise, you will turn out your back heel just a little on a 45, and you will notice that that foot being on a 45 aligns the toe with the knee. When your knee is tracking over your toe, you will not have as much knee pain. And the pain that you do feel is breaking through thresholds, not misuse of your body. So with this weight all in our back leg, you should be able to lift the front leg. So when you shift forward, you'll see the back leg is straight. The knee tracks over the toe. If you can do it, get that knee over the toe. Now remember, this is medical Qigong, healing Qigong. We're not doing it for martial. Knee over the toe. Rock back. Good. Now, the next pointer, looking at the thighs. The thighs should be parallel. I want you to maintain your posture. I'm just going to pivot to face the camera. With this posture, that back foot on a 45, knee is tracking over the toe. Square away the hips. So if the hands were on the hips, elbows are going in the opposite direction of the ways that you're looking, or look left and right of the direction that you're looking. Thighs are parallel. So that angle is better there. And as I bend lower, you'll see that I could lay a magazine on my thigh, or if I had a rod or a pole, it would lay flat. There's no angle. It's flat. So that when I shift forward, my knee is over the toe. I shift back, I'm back to that parallel position. Now, let's do it together slowly. Staying at the same height, shifting the weight forward and backward. Get it forward, rock back, pivoting the toe in, pigeon-toed, shifting the weight to the opposite side, allowing that toe to come up. Now check in with your posture. Are your knees in line with your toes? If so, continue. If not, make your adjustments and then continue. I just caught myself doing something that I'm going to encourage you not to do. Look down at your feet. Do not look down at your feet. Do your best to be upright and feel balance. Don't look for balance. Feel it. Good. Rocking forward, rocking back, pigeon toe, other side. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Hey, Shotzi. Welcome. Sorry about that. You know, Oakland. We lock our doors here. Oh, right on. Rock back, pivot, other side. It's okay. I'm doing it again. I need to feel the balance, not look for it. So what we're doing here, yep, feet more than shoulders width. And when you rock forward, keep going, Avia. So let's do it like this. I'm gonna have you face me, and I'm gonna mirror you, okay? So we're gonna stand about a little bit more than shoulders width. You're gonna turn out your left foot, my right. Good. Now, this back foot on a 45. Good. And when you bend, shift your weight back and check in. If your knee is falling in or out, then it's the position of your foot. And so you can pivot to find your sweet spot, okay? Once you have that sweet spot, you'll know it because your thighs will be parallel. Okay, good. And you're staying at the same height as you shift forward and backward. Good. And then our transition is rock back, turn the toe in, pigeon-toed in the middle, feel the balance in that middle, other side. Before moving on, check in. Is your knee over your toe? Are you outside or inside? If so, adjust that back foot to feel that before you move. In this case, because you're learning it. Later, you'll be able to do that on the fly. You don't need the instruction. other side. Today we're really going to focus on lower body. Kung Fu is in the feet. Martial arts is all in the feet. After the feet come the hips. And then that's about it. Good. Back to center and relax. Good. Shake it out. Okay. So the next exercise is going to be in horse stance. So we're going to start with our feet together. And we're going to bend and step. Good. Shift back. Good. And we're going to just repeat this a couple times to get a feel for that weight shift. Step down. Heel first. You see how my heel is touching first? Good. Now, check in with your feet. Are your feet parallel? Good. I recently, actually on Instagram, I noticed a post that was talking about when our feet are standing, when we have our toes pointed in versus toes pointed out versus toes forward. And it showed that when your toes are pointed out, you're engaging the outside of your calf. There are two muscles in the calf. It's like your arm, it's like a bicep, okay? And so there's an outside and an inside muscle. Toes out, you're working the outside muscles. You toe in, you're working the inside muscles. Your feet parallel, you're working both of them at the same time. And so it's the most balanced and most appropriate way for the style of Qigong that we're doing to keep the feet parallel. And then if they're not parallel, just check in and feel and make these minor adjustments.
Like, did the music, right?
Yeah, exactly. So then shift your weight to the right side, bring the left foot to the right. Good.
That's kind of a challenge.
Yes. And that's what we're going to practice this before we go on. Stepping out with the left foot, heel touches first, shift the weight. Also, that butterfly, out. So from the side, what that looks like is out. It should be making straight lines. My back should be straight. These should be parallel, especially from about here. And then my feet, too. They look about parallel. Yeah. So that's good. But this is also over a decade's worth of doing this posture and doing it incorrectly. And then one day I did it right. And then it was hard to do it wrong. Okay? So then relax, come back to neutral. Good. Now, we're going to step into a wide horse stance. Good. Check in with your feet. And you should have enough mobility to straighten one of your legs. I want you to straighten your right leg. Good. Staying at the same height, shift your weight. And we're just alternating between straightening the left, straightening the right. Now, keep doing your exercise, and I want you to observe me for a moment. And I'm going to do it over here. So, Aviel, you don't have to turn your head. Okay, keep doing your exercise. Tell me if you can tell the difference between this, what I'm doing currently, and this. What's the difference?
Up and down.
Up. I am changing levels. Is this appropriate?
No, each one goes straight across, right?
That's right. And so I'm using this example, and for you guys too, shifting left and right, staying at the same height versus straightening, dropping, and doing one of these numbers. The up and down motion shows no control. maintaining that movement.
Oh, it seems like this is more of a challenge.
Yeah, it brings more awareness to these small, fine areas inside the hip because we can take it one step further. Doing the same exercise, shift over with the straight leg, you will turn the hip over and back, over and back. Yeah, so if my hands were out like this, it would be, this is how much movement is occurring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but up top, you see, a Chinese philosophy is small circle, big power. Big circle, big waist. Meaning, in this case, me facing you, if let's say I'm here and I'm holding something and I turn my hip down, how much movement have I just made? Doesn't seem like much, right? But with my arms out, that's like wham! That's the difference between striking, moving second and striking first.
That's why the hook is more powerful in your
Yes, like all movements, if you can generate your movement, like grabbing something and dropping the hip to pull versus like pulling with the back, we're now building awareness in some of the strongest aspects of our body, the thickest bones in our body. Do you know what the biggest bone in the body is? The femur. Yeah. It's the longest. And so I went to the other side. So if it helps, looking forward, right? And then when you turn your hip down, your hand should go on a 45 from where you were. Without upper body twisting. It's all in the hip. Yeah. So having the hands on the waist here can help too, because then you'll see your elbows will change direction. Who would have thought you're standing in one place? Anyone else sweating?
Not yet.
Yeah, I just came from a workout. 2, 3. Shift. 1, 2, 3. Shift. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Also, weight distribution. My weight is in this toe and this heel. You see how I'm able to lift my toe and heel off the ground simultaneously? That's because my weight is shifted in a way where I can do so. Yeah, so when you're here and you're shifting your weight, I'm essentially shifting my weight from my heel to my toe to my heel. If I exaggerate, right, which is completely incorrect, do not do this motion. Here. Yeah, so if I'm here and I straighten my leg, I shift. You see how my heel wants to come off the ground? I don't let my heel come off the ground. I shift back, my toe wants to come off the ground. I don't let my toe come off the ground. So that's essentially what's happening. That's what helps. It's the relationship between the hip and the ankle. And so then you can diffuse some of the tension by shifting your weight to your toe, to your heel, to your toe, to your heel. And eventually you can start utilizing that, like being able to then combine different motions at one time in a series. And that is the fundamental aspect of what separates Taiji Qigong and all the other internal. So like Tai Chi, Bagua, Xingyi, those are considered like the trifecta of internal. And then Qigong is the root of all that, right? So Qigong is an alphabet of movements. Tai Chi is poetry written in that language. Bagua is poetry written in that language, and so would be Xingyi. So then every martial art essentially is a poetic expression of these basic movements. Okay? So if you consider that and you're like learning a new letter here, right? Can you think of another place where you might use this?
Hawaiian dancing.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking dancing.
Like doing the hands like that.
Yeah. And
or the Indian kind of dance.
yeah, or
Belly dance or something.
yeah, belly dancing. Because we come here, shift back, and this is cool, but we want to get this motion because this is why. So instead of just shifting, staying at the same height, you'll notice that my chest stays forward.
Right, and nothing else is working.
And this is what we're building toward. That's why I had you working on this. Because you can't do this without being able to do this or that.
That's like for me.
Let's slow it down.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Okay.
Just get 1 and 2. Also, I feel this arc. When I shift back and forth, even though I'm going in a straight line, my weight is like shifting back and coming forward. Shifting back, so I'm kind of like riding the inside of this bowl, right? Because everything is fluid when it comes to these kind of things. So it's like a semicircle. It's like this kind of motion, right? Can you see that motion?
It's like a
Yes, exactly. And I'm allowing that sweet spot to then shift back to catch it.
keep your body.
Yes, at the same height. Now, just remember this. Your stance is a little wide.
Oh. On down.
Yeah, that even if your stance is about here and you're doing this motion right here, right? If this is easier, as long as the principles are correct, so be it. This is all about meeting you where you're at. And you see how I'm leading toward the knee, pushing toward the knee. Good. Now, if you notice, Aviel is leading from the hip, which is correct also. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm leaning, pushing forward to create this one. But this is what you're doing, which is still excellent, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You see how that's the forward and the backwards of that same exercise.
For some reason, I thought that was wrong because I would think that you're torquing the knee.
Nah, like, I mean, you're a martial artist. So, like, well, what I mean is like you have experience with contact sports and learning about the mechanisms of like sweep, dodging, things of that nature. So this motion, because we're doing it as an exercise,
Oh, I see.
we're just shifting back and forth like this. But if I step in here and I shift my weight, crazy, right? Different. So that small micro movement, right? Because remember, this is the same thing. So like, even if you're here and you're going like this, right? It looks like I'm dancing, right? And I'm allowing my heel to come off the ground to do that. But I shouldn't. But I can, because there is no right, there is no wrong. If I'm in balance here, then so be it. If I'm in balance here, if I'm in balance here, here, doesn't matter. I can be in balance like this. I mean, as long as you're in balance, that's what counts. And so we do it big to create strength, but it can be scaled, right? And it's a lower body exercise.
How do you know if you're too deep?
Oh, you don't have mobility.
Oh, so the less movement you have, you need to kind of torque it back a little bit.
Yeah, because less is more. Because just because you can spread your legs this wide, like if you're doing this, then you're not going to get much out of it if you were to just bring it here and do it small and do it slow, right? Because if I'm turning my body, this is a different exercise altogether. Whereas, do you see the difference? So like if my arms are crossed in front of me, my upper body is still doing the same thing. It's facing forward versus, you see? And these are helpful too. How you feeling? You okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Knees. I've been trying to do it at home too,
Yes.
so that I can kind of get rid of whatever fluid I got down there, make it right.
Yes. Okay. So then let's shake it out. We'll do some. We'll do one of my favorite knee exercises. So standing with our feet shoulders width. Just going to take a natural step forward. Natural step forward. Bend the knee over the toe. Hands are on the thigh, but you're not leaning weight on it. You just have your hands on your thighs so that when you make these small, small circles, I want you to just circle your big toe. Little tiny circles. I want you to feel how many muscles it takes in your leg in order to make this movement. And I want you to embrace the fact that all of those muscles are coordinating in your body right now and supporting you in this action, in this effort. This is why it's one of my favorite knee exercises. It builds awareness, and you learn to love your body. Go the opposite direction, small circles out. Really embrace that feeling. Good. Now, figure eights, opposite direction. Good. Pat. Rub. And love. Mwah. Other side. Hands
I
on.
noticed you went out to the left or right or whatever you're doing.
Say again?
Straight. You're not going straight. You're going out like a just slightly out. Right?
Oh yeah, well I'm doing that. So to explain, taking a natural step forward here, this is your beginning level. This is like your entry to get a feel for it. And I like to step out on a 45.
Yeah, I'm going to go begin.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, because there's other things that can go with that exercise. I have to just remember where I've scaled it to.
Just want to go begin.
Yes, thank you. Yes, just slightly. A natural step.
Okay.
And then hands on the thigh and just circle in around your big toe. No more. And then no more than 10 the opposite direction. Good. Then figure eight.
Wait a
Huh?
minute. 6. 8. And then figure 8.
Yeah, and then figure eight. And then opposite figure eight. The figure eight you don't do 10 times. You don't do 10 times. Only do that maybe 2 or 3 times. Then pat. Rub. And love. Mwah! Gotta love your body.
Taking me around this world.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so we've shifted our weight forward and back. We've gone in and shifted our weight left and right. We've even shifted and rotated. Then we took that and we keeping the upper body straight, and then we did it in 2 directions. So now the next thing is we're going to let the lower body rest for a little bit by standing shoulders width and toes are forward, knees are slightly bent, hands by the side, palm up, hands out, and in. You'll notice that we do a lot of the same movements each week. Why? It's not about the 10,000 things you've tried once. It's about the one thing we've done 10,000 times. Actually, Aviel and I were having a conversation about this very movement earlier, right? And how the ability to bring your arms out and in have so many versatile uses. Good. Keep going. Good. Then to there. There you go. And then go for it. Yeah. Feel different? Yeah. Good. Good. Drop your shoulders. Let your elbows kind of hang by your side. Tuck the elbows in. Good. Good. Also, I'm noticing, like, if my fingernails were sharp and you didn't want me to hurt your skin here in your chest, you would cave your chest. I want you to round your chest. There you go. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep it rounded.
Yeah. Roll your hips underneath. There you go. Like your back is staying straight. You feel that pull?
Well, it's like I just kind of pulled into a situation here.
Yeah. So keep that and that. So that means you gotta bring your stance in a little. Your stance is a little wide. There you go. Good. There. That's it.
And then the chest is. So you really like in a tight bind here, I feel like.
No.
Really
It feels
tighter
tight.
than what I'm used to, how I'm used to living.
Okay. Well, then I want you to describe, what does my body language say to you right now?
It feel like it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's just moving only the shoulders and hands.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, not shoulders and hands, the elbows and hands, the shoulders just relax.
The shoulder is making the circle. The shoulder is doing this circle here. And then I'm just turning my hands over. That's it. The wrist stays straight. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yep.
Chest.
Good.
Tuck in.
Mhm. Good.
This is a workout.
Uh-huh. Good. Now,
It's a shoulder exercise.
yeah, now I want you to recognize that when you bring your hands, notice, you see my wrists? They're bent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that different than this?
Okay.
As if, like, let's say, oh, there's a baby. Oh, I caught it. You're not going to catch the baby like this. You're going to drop that baby.
Right.
You need to catch it like this.
Everything needs to be.
Yeah, the extra credit comes from keeping the wrist straight. So that's the opposite, right? Like, here's something for you, psych. This is for you.
Oh,
Oops.
got it. It's easier. A lot easier.
Yeah, because it's not so much effort. Strength comes with this later. Slow down, slow down. Feel it. Stay on the same level. All the way back. All the way back. Palm stays down. All the way back.
Oh, down,
Down.
down, and then out,
Yes.
out.
You're coming out. Relax the traps. The way that I'm seeing you do it is Western, like, yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like you're doing like this Western, like,
Right.
which is fine. That just tells me what kind of conditioning you have. So what I'm going to encourage is subtlety. Let it be subtle. Try to use so little effort that it feels like you're doing nothing.
Can you turn your back? Let me see.
Yeah.
Your back is more relaxed.
Yeah. Because this,
Yeah, because I was doing.
this defeats the purpose of the exercise. Like when you would want to use that is when you know when to use it. You get what I mean? It's a tool, and we don't need it right now. Good. Out, palm up, in.
Yeah, just take some relaxation internally.
Yes, it does.
All those things at the same time.
Well, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, it is a lot. But when you find your sweet spot, then you don't have to keep adjusting. Like right now, my weight's in my toes. I'll tell you that much. But my weight in my body is going back from my hips. So it keeps my back straight. Huh?
So where's the sweat?
Yeah, welcome to your body. Let's reverse it. Starting from here, palm up, offer, drop it. Yeah. Like that. Maybe less sound effect. Close. Hands stay open the whole time, all the way up. Palm up. Good. You see how the elbows kind of drive that motion coming back? Good. 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 Lower. Yeah, so that your wrist stays straight. Good. Also, I want you to just notice that you're coming up like, ah, which is appropriate. Remember, with all these exercises, we have movements in the front, the middle, and below, right? So we could still do this motion here, down. We can do it straight across. This is the exercise that we're doing right now. Straight across, and then it can go up and down, right? And the hand posture, if it's done with one hand, it's different than with two hands. You see how these,
Dance, or it could be a fight.
it can be 5 different things. It can be a movement to heal yourself. It can be a movement to heal others. It can be a movement to defend yourself or defend others. It's a movement that can help bring you closer to another, and it's a movement that can bring you closer to yourself. And that is the 5 different Qigong. Healing Qigong for healing oneself, fixing the things that are going on, getting the Qi to flow in the body so that you are a full vessel, you're a full cup, right? Because you can't share what's in your cup. You can only share your excess, right? Because once you start dipping into your cup to give to others, then there's a deficiency. And then that deficiency, in comparison, creates an excess, right? So like, if you have 2 things working together, like gas and oil, if you have too little bit of oil, then the gas gets too hot. If you don't have enough gas, then the oil gets too hot. So there has to be a mix between the 2, and they have to be balanced. So same deal here. Does that make sense? Okay, so healing, medical for healing others, martial for protecting, and martial, and then spiritual, which is the self-cultivation, and the sexual, which is getting closer to another and being able to have potency in conception, right? So like, if a person does want to conceive and decides that that is what they want to do, in Chinese medicine, they say that a child is born with a congenital amount of condensed qi. It's like condensed milk, or like a juice concentrate. And then the body is slowly diluting the concentrate over a period of time. Now, some science wants us to believe that we can't go past a certain range of what's expected of life. But in Chinese medicine, they're describing life as the ability to take this concentrate and collect it from other places and restore that flavor in you. So if you want to know more about that art, there's a guy by the name of Li Cheng-yun, and he lived for 250 years, and it was documented. He died like in 1920s, I want to say, or something like that, like very relatively close, like to our era. But this guy had been around, like he had documented 200, on his 200th birthday, his 150th, his 100th birthday, he received certificates from China, their government, indicating like congratulations on reaching this age. And 250 is when they lost track of him. He disappeared. They don't know what happened to him.
So what do you think be happening to my knees? I gave too much of my juice away or something?
Well, your body is learning to grow and adapt to what you are now asking it to do. Our bodies regenerate. And regeneration means I am going to recreate exactly a part of myself as it was, right? So hair, you have your hair, you clip some hair. You know that in time from the root, it will grow down and it will be at the same length. But it's all new hair that was assembled and created from the body that brought the hair back to something that is familiar, right? That hair growing out is a form of regeneration. It's regenerating the hair cells, and it keeps regenerating, and just gets longer and longer. Just like our bones, our teeth, tendons, ligaments, blood, all of it has a lifespan. So when we are moving in a way that we're not used to, Chinese medicine says that women are on 7-year cycles and guys are on 8-year cycles. So it takes anything divisible by 7 for women to start to notice change, and then for men, divisible by 8. So like what I'd like to say is like 8 months of your training may change how your knees feel. 8 weeks of this training may affect how your knees feel. But also remember, perspective also helps. Because
what do you mean in terms of perspective?
like mantra. I know
Oh, yeah.
to say to your body, like when you hurt, to say to the body when you hurt, you know, I love you,
Okay,
it's
I love
okay,
you.
I do this for your healing, right? You know, I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you. In Hawaii, they call that ha'aponopono, which is like a way of making, you know, making amends.
And this, maybe because it's so small, because I do everything weight and big and run and all that. But this is like so small.
Yes.
Like, but it affects me like the most.
Yeah, well, okay, like let's take a bench press, for example. And this is why earlier I mentioned weighted exercise and non-weighted exercises. If I'm using a bench press and let's say I have 200 pounds on the bar and I'm pushing and I'm letting it drop with control and I'm pushing and I'm letting it control, my body is going to recruit anything and everything it needs to knock out that rep.
Right.
But if, let's say, that person were to go, whoo, 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 and they get up to 6 seconds up and with the same control, whoo, whoo, 6 seconds down, who's stronger? Who's going to be stronger?
The one that's taking the longest to get up and down.
Yeah, why?
Because you're using every level of the smaller muscles and the bigger muscles.
That's right, because you're using the support muscles.
Like the torque. You're just using like.
Yeah, when a person forces the pec major, our pec muscle is connected to our bicep. So like all that means is that it pulls the arm in like this. Just pulls the arm in. But if you bend your elbow from here, right? Now you get a straight line. But this is essentially the action that's occurring. So with that action, the pec major being so large and minor, it's going to be hard for it to allow the other muscles around to want to get involved. But if it fatigues, then it has to recruit the minor, it has to recruit the deltoid, it has to recruit the lats, it has to recruit all the little small intricate, like, okay, what can we use to get this job done? Right. That's what this is. That's why, like, coming down, like our next exercise was going to be this, but I don't know.
I did those last night.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
I did. I did the one where.
Well, let's do that real quick while Shatsi rests. We're going to do this exercise.
I did the internal up.
Oh, yeah. Good. As long as the knees stay bent through the whole exercise, you're doing it right. Back is straight. To make sure that you're doing it right, you can use a wall. Keep going. And you'll see that my back's up against the wall.
Oh, to make sure the posture is like.
Yeah. So that if I'm here and I want to drop down, I know that my back is straight. My back is straight versus here.
Yeah, I gotta get that part.
It comes from in the inside of the hips. Because in order, like in a squat, in order to be in the squat, the hips have to be open, right? And you see how I'm like pushing my hips forward and keeping my back straight.
It's very bizarre because only babies can do that.
I mean,
Be a toddler.
you ain't never seen this before?
You know,
Like in
see,
Chinatown?
I think Asian, like older Asian people do that.
Young folks do it too?
But I've never seen young people. I always see like Asian people squatting.
Yeah.
That's because they do like Tai Chi.
No, I mean, it's not just Asian people. Indian people squat, you know, Middle Eastern people squat. Everybody squats. It's just only in America do we sit.
Oh, okay.
In Europe, we sit. Everyone else squats. So we're really the weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say they were weird. I just noticed it.
No, I know that. I'm calling us weirdos.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
So
Shoulders
Wide
width,
shoulders. Okay.
toes pointed forward, back is straight. Knees do not straighten.
Okay. Just drop in the water, man.
Yeah,
I'm kind of going forward. Maybe I need not go so down so far.
yeah. Because you know what? This would be appropriate too.
Okay. I wonder why this little is giving me this. It's giving me this to pay attention, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Good.
And this work those intricate muscles like in here too, right?
Oh yeah, big time. Especially if you can use your core to raise you up, not your legs. Yeah, move from the middle of the body, like from the gooch.
From the what?
From the gooch. It's the space between the anus and the genitals.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm talking about anatomy right now.
Remember he called that guy the gooch? Remember? And that gooch was bullying him? You remember that?
What? I don't ever want to get bullied by a gooch. What are you talking about?
Willis, remember that show? Television show with the guy, the little short guy who passed away?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of the show though.
Remember
Oh,
that?
God.
The gooch was always bullying him?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I didn't know about that.
Oh, you're probably not old enough.
Jefferson?
No,
No.
no, no. It's the other one where they had the white girl, his sister, the father who's white, the two brothers who were black.
And relax.
You remember that?
No.
I do. I just
And his
can't
name
remember
was
the name of the
Willis.
show. Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
Oh,
And the gooch
it'll
was
come to me.
always-
It'll come to me. Okay, so now we're just gonna let the arms swing for a second. Let the shoulders relax. Good.
Okay, just like a pendulum, like
Yes.
just chill.
Also, just take a look. What do you see?
Oh, in and out.
Yeah. I'm generating the movement from here. I do this a lot when I'm in the bank or if I have to wait in line, since everywhere has lines now.
What is that doing? Just
This,
checking
it's
it out?
lymphatic rock. I like to look at it as a lymphatic rock. So lymph in our body is abundant. There is a fluid in our body that's called lymph, and it's kind of like the drainage pipe of all the little mucky mucks that's happening inside the blood vessels, inside the organs. It's the trash chutes. So everything dumps into the lymph nodes, but the lymph system doesn't have a pump. Like the heart pumps. So if you're laying down, you still got fluids moving because the heart's pumping. Whereas lymph, when you're laying down, the lymph's laying with you.
So it's not really active.
It's not.
You make it active.
Yes. And so these gentle movements help the fluid to move through the body and helps the body to eliminate these toxins that live in the lymph, that end up
Like
in the
lymph
lymph.
nodes.
Lymph node means it's like a bus hub where like all the buses in this particular region come to this particular node. So then all the lymph from this area is going to come to that particular node.
Well, we've been building up for a long time without doing this, huh?
Wait, so lymph is actually a liquid?
Yeah, it's a fluid. Yeah, like lymphedema.
Like
Lymphedema
swelling?
is when you have lymph fluid pooling wherever that is. Edema just means liquids sitting in that area, right? And so lymphedema means the fluid that's sitting there happens to come from the lymph. Yeah.
This is like this excretion of waste.
Yeah, like the waste isn't getting out. Most of the time, lymphedema, that deals with the immune system.
So are you okay?
Really, any kind of movement helps your lymphatic system.
That's
whether
right.
Whether it's dance or working out or.
Or a gentle walk in the morning to start your day.
Yeah.
As long as you can get the lymph from yesterday to move out today, good. Okay, good. So let the arms rest by your side. Bringing the hands up just below the belly button. Good. Maintain your posture. I'm going to come around. Stay where you are. Good. Let you to just roll your hips underneath a little
I
more.
thought I had them.
I know, you're doing good.
I thought I had them.
And let this, like if something was sharp here, I want you to just relax your chest. Down, rather than here. Think like, I love this baby so much. Mwah. Use the same body language that you would use when addressing a small loved one. So when you're here, you've slowed down that moment of picking up that loved one in anticipation of being able to see that little smiling face, okay? So you just find that joy here. And just, you're not like rigid, because you're not going to hold a baby like this.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Good.
Okay.
Good. And this part here, and then let the fingers do the curling.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Keep your hands where they're supposed to be, man. At the dantian. Good. Good. Straighten your wrist. There you go. Yeah. Feel different?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. You're doing good. No, it's not your back. It's your elbows. You don't need to be putting in that much work.
Okay.
Yeah. Here. And then remember right here. That's going to be your extra credit. Good. 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 Not too much. Hands up level with the collarbones.
Shoulders down, right?
Mm-hmm. Shoulders down. Elbows are down. Palms facing each other. Much better. I like your self-correction. Check your knees though. So you're just going to let your elbows come down just a little. Just a little less effort. Maybe out here. Feel different? I know, it's hard to sense. It's hard to sense.
I'm trying to think. Because I've been thinking everything.
Hands level with the eyes. Good. Move over here. Make it easier for you. Also, pay attention to my back. What do you see in my back?
Straight.
Yeah. How about my shoulder blades? Are my shoulder blades retracted?
Now they are.
Now they are. But how about here?
Oh, okay.
Rounded.
Yeah. But am I hunched?
No.
No. My back is rounded, but my back is also straight. I love the paradoxes in Chinese medicine. Hands come down, level with the collarbone. Down level with the dantian. Letting the hands drop down, 3 big circles. Inhale, exhale. Shift your weight to your right leg, left foot in, right hand in a fist, left hand flat. Thank you. And thank you. That's our Qigong. See you next week.